Hey everyone, welcome to Wellness Talk this week. This is George Batista, your host and your nutrition advocate as always. Wellness Talk, as always, is a show that goes over the latest in health and healing and nutrition and supplements. And I am extremely excited today because we actually have a very special show. We're going to be having a discussion with the founder and CEO of Wellness Resources, Elle Richards. And this is exciting for me because I'm a big promoter of Wellness Resources. You guys listen to the show, you know that it's my favorite supplement company. And the main reason for that is because they have been on the forefront of high quality nutrition for well over 35 years. And they're fanatics about high quality supplements. And that's very, very important to me. Now, Marielle comes to us. She's her background is in healthcare. She was a nurse and she started the company over 35 years ago with her husband, Byron Richards, who is a clinical nutritionist. So we're going to be talking about the history of the company as well as some of the products and everything. So I'm very, very excited. So without further ado, let's bring to the show Elle Richards.
Hello.
Hey, Elle, thank you so much for coming on.
Hi, George. How are you?
I'm fantastic, fantastic. And I'm so honored to have you on the show. So,
Thank you.
I want to talk a little bit about Wellness Resources. And what I'm going to do first is I want to kind of just backtrack for a second, talk a little bit about my history and how I found you guys. And we'll kind of go from there. So I found you guys probably, it's going to be maybe about 16 years ago now.
Okay.
And basically what I was trying to, at the time, I was kind of trying to clean up some health issues that I had. And I was using other brands of supplements at the time. And at the same time, I was kind of learning nutrition and figuring all this stuff out and really excited about learning and then sharing it with friends and family and things like that. And then when I stumbled onto you guys, it was actually from an article from a site called Natural News. And they talked about how Wellness Resources has some amazing supplements. So I said, okay, I got to check this out. So I went on there and I was very surprised at how transparent you guys were of the ingredients, the sourcing, and everything that you guys had on that site. And also the other thing was that you guys were using ingredients that some of them I had never seen before in some of the other supplement brands that I was using. So that intrigued me. And then what ended up happening was I said, okay, I got to try this. So I started with the Daily Energy Multivitamin. That was the first product I tried. And I immediately felt the difference. Immediately. So I said, okay, this is something, because I also had clarity, I had energy, and I said, okay, there's something to this. So from that point on, I started trying all your supplements, and then I brought it to friends and family, and then I started working with clients in nutrition and just started recommending to them. And that began my journey with you guys, which till this day, again, you're the #1 supplement company that I promote. So, again, thank you for having such great quality supplements. So kind of take us back to back then to where you guys started. How was Wellness Resources born?
Wellness Resources. Thank you, by the way, George, for saying all those awesome and wonderful
Absolutely.
things. Thank you.
No problem.
It's true. Wellness Resources started as a quality company. We were all about quality and effectiveness. How effective are the supplements that Wellness Resources is formulating and providing? And the reason we saw this as so important is we were working in a clinical setting with medical doctors and specialists that would send their clients to us. And we also had our own, worked with them. And by just using over-the-counter vitamin Bs or whatever you may send them out to a list or what have you, they're come back mixed reviews. Some people would say, okay, I feel a little bit better. Other people would say not so much. And our business was and is clinical nutrition. So that means you need to see, or a client or a patient needs to see results, or is looking for results, not just saying, hey, I take my daily vitamin and I'm good. They were looking for, they had some kind of health issue. So as we saw the mixed reviews, we talked to ourselves and said, we need to create our own line. And it's just not out there. And we tried to find other product lines and lines of nutritional supplements that were available. That was in 1985.
Wow.
And there just wasn't what we knew was out there, or what we needed, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
It was all based on clinical studies and what worked, what was effective. A bee is not a bee, for instance. Any mineral has its proper form and improper form. Any ingredient, nutrient has its proper form and improper form. So the more you look at the studies, the clinical studies, and you would see, okay, it's this specific form that is necessary. So we began our formulations using what was seen in the clinical studies as effective. And so people started to see a real difference with these formulas. We started, one of our very first ones was the daily energy multiple vitamin that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the reason on that was because people would take bees and have allergic reactions. We also worked with people with allergies. And so we're like, okay. So we created a daily energy multiple vitamin with bioavailable, bioactive bees that could be easily absorbed, even with people with digestive issues or allergy issues. So that's basically how we started and created formula after formula based on need.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
And I have to assume that, because I mean, I looked into, at some point, even I looked into see if I could formulate vitamins and things like that. I had assumed that it wasn't easy, because it's not cheap to have the highest quality supplements out there, right? I mean, it takes a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of money, and all those types of things to put that together, right?
It does, and that's a very good point. And we made a decision early on that we knew the higher grade and the right form of a nutrient was necessary, and enough of it to make a difference. You can't just put a little bit of it. You have to see what was the therapeutic dose that made actual changes in health or a condition, what have you. And so we did see that it was going to be more expensive, or cost more to us, to formulate it, anyone who would formulate it. But we realized we were in the business of clinical nutrition, and people came to us for effectiveness and therapeutic use, and especially working with doctors and so on, but even with our own clients. So we decided, fine, but what we have remained even to this day is direct to consumer. And yes, that was an active decision along the years. We had people saying, you should be multi-level. We want to take you public. We want this and that for wellness resources, but we always said no. We always said no, because it was our model, and we didn't want to change from it ever.
And that's one of the things that I think also draws me to you guys, because again, quality and integrity and all that is important to me, especially if I'm recommending this to friends and family and to clients and that type of thing. And I mean, I know a lot of supplement companies, and I myself partnered in the past with a lot of supplement companies, and many of them started as a homegrown company, and then eventually got taken over by some kind of big corporation and that type of thing. And I have to assume that came across your desk many times, right?
Oh yes, definitely, definitely. But the more we thought about it, the more we thought, we are who we are. People love us who we are for who and what we provide, who we are and what we provide. And people count on us. And the thought of it being changed or weakened or what have you was just using the Wellness Resources name. It was an integrity thing. It really, really was. So we decided to continue with the modality of straight to the consumer, or through some private practitioners, such as yourself. That kind of thing was fine. We just never went into big supermarkets or big marketing. We just never did that. We wanted to keep the quality as affordable as possible, the lowest possible price with the quality that you need, and enough of it. And so, yes, that was definitely a business decision, and I think a very wise one. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And now, the thing what I've come across with supplements in general is, especially with the average person, most people don't know, right? They don't know what goes into a supplement. They don't know about the coenzyme form of B vitamins. A lot of folks, even my family, they have no clue about that stuff. And I could talk to them about it. And they're like, what? Different type of B vitamin, different type of this and that. So they'll go to the box store and they'll get whatever they think is good, and that's one of the reasons why I do this show, is because I want to educate people on supplements like yours and say, hey, look, this is the stuff that works. This is the stuff that you should be using, because again, it's, even though supplements now, the industry is huge, it's a huge industry now, there's still a lot of people who just don't know. And so that's why I'm trying to spread the word of wellness resources, and because I want people to understand that there is stuff that actually works, and it's in the forms that your body needs, and it's helped me. It helped me and my family. So.
Absolutely, George, you are right on. Absolutely, with understanding that education is an important part of all of this. Because at Wellness Resources, we also understood that early on, because we knew people would go into a supermarket or wherever they were and try to grab something that was less expensive, maybe even a couple bucks or what have you, but they weren't going to get the same results. We knew.
Right.
So it was our job also to educate, and we really spent a lot of time and energy and just gave out education for free. We never charged. We realized it's so important that we educate. And we almost became a library for people. People would call us just out of the blue or from the public to get accurate information. And we did, and we were known for that. And it was all, again, based on the science, and what works. So yes, educating about difference of quality is key. And effective, and results is what will say something to you. When people can actually take a higher quality or the right ingredient, enough of it, and say, I feel so much better. And we heard these stories, over the years, thousands and thousands and thousands of stories, and we still do. So that's rewarding. And that's why we went into this to begin, is to help people. It wasn't about anything else. We never had this vision of being this great big whatever. So as long as we stuck to our purpose for starting and reason why we started Wellness Resources, we were good.
Absolutely. Great.
Yeah.
So I want to just kind of talk a little bit about some of the products that you guys have. So one of the ones that I know is pretty popular with you, for you guys, and as well as the Thyroid Helper.
Yes.
And I learned, honestly, when I was looking through my nutrition stuff and learning nutrition, I learned about thyroid from you guys, because you guys had so many articles and podcasts and things about thyroid, and I would listen to them and I would read them, and I was like, wow, I'm hearing things that you don't see especially in the mainstream. You don't see a lot of that in the mainstream. So I was, I love it. And it's funny because my wife actually has a thyroid. She has hypothyroidism. And so she has taken your Thyroid Helper, and has actually helped her thyroid very, very much actually regulate things. So, firsthand account, I see how much. So, talk to me a little bit about it in formulating that. How did that come about?
Okay, absolutely. And it's awesome to hear about your wife and that she's feeling better. And there's so many stories like her. I love it. How Thyroid Helper began, it was formulated, is we worked directly with a medical doctor who was a thyroid specialist. And he was known as a natural, way ahead of his time. He still used some medications, but he'd always try to use the most natural form, etc. He, in Wellness Resources, we met and we told him about thyroid, and he was so smart. So we developed Thyroid Helper basically to support the thyroid in a natural way, without any hormone, without any stimulants. What does the thyroid gland need to be at a healthy function? And so we put together a formula that, again, the right ingredients and enough of each to make a difference, for that particular cause, or to help the function of the thyroid function naturally. And there was Thyroid Helper. And Thyroid Helper is one, or I would say the original thyroid helper, the original thyroid supplement. It was formulated way before people even thought, oh, we need a thyroid supplement.
Exactly.
But what we found with Thyroid Helper, and I worked with the doctor as well in his office, or his and so I got a lot of the feedback and stories also from the Thyroid Helper. Mm-hmm. And what we found is that oftentimes someone who had the symptoms would take the Thyroid Helper, would find that that would take care of it immediately. Mm-hmm. Or if they were on the medication, that they could possibly take less of the medication. So we found very early on that it's effective. And there are so many symptoms of thyroid function, low thyroid function, that people aren't aware of.
That's true.
So we also developed the thyroid quiz, and people can take that at wellnessresources.com. But we use that early on in our profession, and to ascertain whether a person had symptoms of low thyroid function, even before it maybe showed up on their blood work.
Look at that.
So we worked with a lot, and it's become, I will tell you, Thyroid Helper is right there at the top of our most popular products.
Absolutely.
That and daily energy multivitamin.
Yep. Yeah. You definitely notice a difference when you take it. Again, I find when I'm feeling like I may have the one of those days where I'm going to be dragging. I know when I take my daily energy multi, I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. So you definitely feel it. One thing that's interesting is you guys, like a lot of other companies, they may formulate 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 multis just for the adults, and then they'll do gummies for kids and stuff like that. You guys have stayed to daily energy multi. This is the one. And then even the kids brand, you actually have one. And what I found interesting is that it's not a gummy.
No,
it's not a gummy. And I actually did a quick video on the super mini multi on this show. And I talked about, you guys are not going to do gummies because of what you have to put in them in order for kids to actually take them, So I talk about, helping your kids, either learning how to swallow, the capsules, or even opening them up and putting them in a juice or applesauce or something like that. Because, but again, I love the fact that you guys refuse to compromise, and you're going to stay with that, because you could have gone different directions with that, right?
You're absolutely correct. And we did have to make that decision because gummies seem very popular, at least a while back. I don't know if they are that much anymore with people who are educated.
Right.
And I will tell you, the little super mini multi is now one of our top sellers also.
Look at that.
Yep. I am just telling you, most popular.
Wow.
I will tell you that. So it was good to stick with it. And it's in a small little capsule that children can easily swallow. I mean, and as you said, there's no sugars or fillers or artificial flavors or colorings, or even something like that they think is natural. No sugar. We don't need that in a multiple for a child. So, and it's easy to swallow. And if you teach them young enough, with, like you said, the applesauce, it just goes down really super simply.
Yeah, no,
open it up and they won't even know the difference, right?
No, you're right. Absolutely. No, it's so important. I agree. I mean, even my daughter's she's going to be 15 now.
Oh, wow.
But she grew up on taking supplements as well, and it took her a while to learn how to take it, but now she takes the D and she takes the mini multi and all that, and has no issue. So she doesn't like the big stuff. So I said, okay, let me compromise with you. I said, I'll give you a couple of mini multis, and then you'll be good to go.
You'll be set. And also, to reassure you and her, it's basically the formula that the daily energy multiple vitamin is, but it is of the proper dose for children. Proper dose. Yes. And so that's good. I mean, everything in there is exactly what she needs for daily coverage of her daily multiple vitamin and mineral needs. Yep.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah,
And
and that's again, that's important for me because if I know I'm giving my daughter, whatever supplement, I want to make sure that number one,
oh
it
yeah.
works. Number two, she's not going to have any kind of strange reactions to it or anything like that. And it's been fantastic.
Yep.
So
Wonderful.
that's great, great. So let me ask you, what do you think the biggest misconception regarding supplements is out there for people?
Oh, wow. It's changed over 35 years.
Right, I can imagine. Yes, yes.
Oh, wow. Back then, it was sort of like, oh, you can get it in your food and you can,
Hmm.
I think that might be the biggest.
Yeah,
And,
I agree.
right. But in today's world, there is no way you can get every nutrient in our food source. I mean, that you need. I guess if you grew everything organically yourself but if you do regular lifestyle of shopping, even in a quote organic world or whatever,
Yeah.
it's just very hard, very difficult. And especially as we get older or we have stress demands or we're under stress or environmental pollutants or any kind of even getting older. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just going to be very, very difficult to get in the food source. Yes, eat well, of
Of
course,
course. Right.
but to supplement is really, really also, I feel for myself and my family, really helpful. The other thing is there is a therapeutic use of
Hmm.
nutritional supplementation, but not all nutritional supplementation is going to give you that the
Right.
effect or the results.
Right.
So that has really been our specialty is people coming to us because of this or that, or maybe of course they're under medical care,
Hmm.
but they want also, is there anything else I can do? Anything else I can do to strengthen or to build, whether it's kidney support, liver support, heart health, or mind, brain, etc. So we complement also with medical. What the biggest misconception probably is that you can get it in food
Yeah.
or that all supplements are created equal, which
Right.
that is a
Right.
huge misconception.
No,
They're
I agree. I
not
completely
even
agree with
close.
that. Yeah, definitely.
Not even close.
Yeah, no, it's true. And not only that, the recommended daily allowance of these vitamins and minerals is so low now.
I know.
So it's, I mean, if you think about it, like things like vitamin C, they're telling me like 90 milligrams of vitamin C, let's say, or, or vitamin D, I forgot what it is, like 400 or something like that. And it's really, and they haven't updated that, so it's up to folks, the folks that are educating to say, no, you need more than that. And your food can actually have some of that. Okay. But like I always recommend, even if they're eating the perfect diet, I always recommend having that at least the multivitamin in there, just to make sure you have insurance against, that you're having enough of everything you need.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
And again, this has been our specialty and what created Wellness Resources and what's kept us going for 37 years now. And it's such a joy to help so many people, so many people. And
Absolutely.
again, the education, you pointed that out, and that is such an important part of all this. And you do that so well with your
Oh,
podcast
thank you. Thank
and
you.
your
Yeah, you guys, I mean, especially you guys, because you guys come up with some fantastic articles. I know you have Linda Doberstein
yes,
who does some great articles for you guys, and I actually reference those articles in a lot of my podcasts, because in this show, what I do is I take different resources and I put them kind of together, and I go over 3 or 4 articles a week, and but I'm always looking for the wellness resources article, and that comes out. And I'll go over that and I'll say, oh, this is what they're saying here. And then, I say, check this supplement out and check that supplement out, that type of thing. So, but some great, great, great resources on the site. And everybody definitely has to check out the site because there's just so much information on it.
oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. And she is very technical. She does her homework and her research, and she is also a board certified clinical nutritionist. And
Absolutely.
yeah, yes, and she's extremely technical. So if you ever
Really.
really need a technical question answered, you can give her a call.
Oh, good. I love it. I love it.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
She's wonderful.
I love that stuff. Yeah, they get. I love getting into the technical side of things too. It's just like, it's interesting. It's like, when I was younger, I used to take vitamins when I was younger. My mother used to give me a vitamin with my breakfast every morning, but at the time I just said I would just take it, whatever. But as I got older, and I was like, and then I realized how important this really is, and then I started to get into the technical stuff like that. So I get into that. My wife would tell you I could be sitting there reading stuff for all day long.
And it gets technical.
It does.
When I read that, I'm like, it's foreign to me. But someone with a highly technical brain, such as board certified clinical nutritionists that we have and have had over the years at Wellness Resources, they can read it and make sense out of it,
right,
and translate it for the everyday, for everyone. In a simple form, yet it's all based on technical and what works, what doesn't work, the facts.
Exactly.
So that's great. That's really neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now I know you have a blog that you update, Living Well with Marielle.
Yep.
Okay, and the link is going to be down at the description. And you also have this, which is
yep.
So tell us a little bit about that product.
Thank you, George. Okay, to mention the blog first, yes, it is www.livingwellwithmarielle. And the way that came about is I started writing for our newsletter, and I realized, okay, it'd be and people started reading it, giving me feedback and that kind of thing. So I thought, okay, let's do a separate blog. Now I do that, and that's awesome. Thank you. What my expertise really is I'm an awesome cheerleader and advocate, and I know what works. If you ask me to technically explain every little detail like Linda could or Byron, I couldn't do that, but I certainly know what works. I know I have helped people over the years and that kind of thing. So I thought, okay, do a blog that's giving easy to understand information that I know I would be interested in if I didn't know what I happen to know, and add that encouragement and maybe even a little inspiration here and there.
Right.
Because like I said, what has really, really been a joy to me is helping people and seeing them go from coming in and saying, I really need that help, to saying, wow, thank you so much for guiding me into the right direction. So the blog came about. Now, as far as the beauty product, the way that came about is that because more and more people got to know who I was, we thought, okay, why don't we do a Marielle, it's Beauty by Marielle. I also have other social media sites out there where people have gotten to know me. And what it is, it's 10 ingredients. It provides 10 essential special ingredients for the nails, hair, and skin, for healthy and glowing skin and nails. And it's an amazing formula. It's simple. It's a powder, and it's the exact ingredients necessary. It contains bioactive collagen peptides. It contains keratin, the highest grade and absorbable form, biotin. It contains antioxidants for the skin that protects against environmental damage, even from the sun. Right. And it is everything in it that will help to protect the skin from the inside. Okay. And you say beauty from the inside out. Well, people take care of themselves in whatever way they do on the outside, and then you also need that inside. And again, the science shows with these ingredients, it's there. And a person can read, anyone's invited to read it at wellnessresources.com or through your website also, which is platinum
nutritionals.com.
Nutritional supplements, which I looked at.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Great. Thank you.
It's a great website.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's fantastic. I mean, it's funny because I visit, like I said, I visit your site all the time, especially when you had some new stuff coming on. I know, Vita, I think, is some of
Yes,
the new stuff that you have going on is there as
yes.
well.
That I will tell you the story behind that.
Hmm.
That's the creation of our children.
Oh,
And
okay.
as their children are working, they are second generation working with wellness resources, amazing, amazing people and children. They thought, let's try to reach a young, like hip kind of group of
Hmm.
people, just a different demographics.
Right.
And I said, go for it. And that's the Wellvita. And it's done well. The
Okay.
Calm, I take Calm every day.
Yeah.
I need it. Now, but it's all based off of formulations from Wellness Resources, and it's
Okay.
part of Wellness Resources. So it's all the ingredients, all the proper. It was just again designed to maybe go into different demographics with the
Okay.
younger generations and so on that weren't necessarily looking for therapeutic. It was just an expansion of an idea. I mean, but it's again the same quality, and they're interesting formulas. They're great formulas.
Oh, definitely, definitely. It's,
Exactly.
absolutely.
That's what happened to Wellvita or with
Oh,
Well.
that's great. That's
Yeah.
absolutely great. I mean, that's and it, again, the fact that you guys have remained, family owned and operated business. Again, it's just, I that's one of the
Yeah.
things that I really enjoy about your company and the products and everything. So,
Thank you.
um, so let me ask you this. I mean, obviously now this is a big challenging time for us, right?
Yeah.
Almost 2 years into dealing with this pandemic and this whole thing, and one of the or the main concept of my show is that, I always, the kind of the tagline of my show is, control your health. You have more control over your health than you think you do. And even in this time, we can be boosting our immune systems and doing everything we possibly can to keep ourselves healthy and well. And that's really the big theme of my show. So, what would you say to the folks out there who want to stay healthy at this time?
I agree with you 100%. And that's, I think, why we connect, or we
Right.
connect, and we connect Wellness Resources with you and you with
Right.
us, is because we know that people need to be educated about their own health. You think about and be actually the leader or the advocate. They're not going to be the doctor, they're not going to, but they need to be knowledgeable
Yeah.
about their health and what's happening with them. So we always advocate that as well. Being in the know, knowing what side effects of drugs are,
Hmm.
education has been a huge passion of mine. I could tell you stories on that, but it has really been so that people can take charge of their own health. Of course, you have a health team
Right.
of very responsible, knowledgeable healthcare practitioners or professionals, but you still need to stay informed. So you really do. And there's so much you can do to boost your own immune system during these times that you're talking. There's so much you can do. And
Absolutely.
and there's so much even if you're exposed to, which we're all exposed,
Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
something or another.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all sorts. We don't live in a bubble. We
Right.
do not live in a bubble. So the strength of your immune system, especially in today's world, but it's always been been the case, is so vitally important. And yet
Definitely.
there's absolutely ways to strengthen it. And we definitely educate like you do on that. And sometimes you want to say way more than you're even allowed to say.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
the research is out there. The information is out there. There,
Exactly.
there's hidden research. I will tell you that. And so
Oh
it's
yeah.
our job at Wellness Resources to go and find that, because
Hmm.
it might be in technical volumes or where only professionals can get into, but we extract that and we will write articles on as technical as possible, knowing how to say the right things and so on, that if people really, really read, they will see ways to boost immune system,
Hmm.
and to even ward off and fight off something that you have been exposed to.
Definitely.
Absolutely
Definitely.
ways to do that. And deficiencies. What
Yes.
deficiencies do people who get ill from whatever's going on out there, what is the deficiency? And making
Hmm.
sure we don't have that deficiency
Right.
is so
Right.
important, just to protect us again. So
Right. Absolutely.
education. And I saw that you're doing that. And I really respect that. With
Yeah, I mean, it's, I feel, and it's just like you guys, for me, it's very personal because, like I said, and I talk about my backstory on this show a lot. How I dealt with so many issues. I dealt with chronic bronchitis. I dealt with back problems. I dealt with severe allergies, really severe allergies, like where I was like I looked terrible, and all kinds of stomach issues from overuse of antibiotics as a kid. I mean, I'm kind of an open book on my show, but again, I talk about, listen, if I can get through all that, okay, if I can, get the information and figure, I mean, we have more information out there today than we've ever had before. Right. Back in, 1985, when you guys started, there was no internet, right? We didn't have
oh,
all this information. I'm sure you guys had to go through all these
oh,
textbooks and all this stuff, right?
totally. A lot of handouts, a lot of handouts.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, and so I say, listen, I mean, you guys have, we have access to so much information now, whether it's podcasts or whether it's just information like websites like yours or just, Google, I mean, and things like that. So there's so many ways. And again, if I can pretty much get rid of most of that stuff, which I have,
Great.
and I'm pretty open about it. I say, listen, it took me a while to do, but I realized I was deficient in a lot of things.
Right.
That was my main issue, is I really had a lot of deficiencies, and I addressed all those deficiencies, and here I am. I don't, people ask me, how did you get rid of those allergies? You don't even have seasonal allergies anymore. And I'm saying, listen, I cleaned up everything. I cleaned up my diet, and it's comprehensive, right? It's not just one thing. It's about the diet. It's about fitness. It's about the right supplements. It's they're all pieces to this puzzle. And this is what I've used, and what I'm sharing with the world, and you guys are sharing with the world as well. So I think, folks like us, we've got to get that word out there more and more to educate these folks and to make sure that they know that they can do this as well.
Absolutely, George.
Yeah.
You right on everything again. And what people who are looking for this information are intelligent and smart about, they look for reliable sources
Right.
because there is a lot out there.
Mm-hmm.
So once someone finds reliable sources such as you or Wellness Resources
Mm-hmm.
and others,
Right.
they use or utilize that information. And so that I love too. There are very wise, intelligent people out there that are smart, looking for reliable information. And that's where you come in, really, really useful and helpful.
Thank you.
Wellness Resources, and
Absolutely.
the more of us, the better.
I completely agree. I
Right.
completely agree. Absolutely. So, I'm not going to keep you too long. I know I'm pretty sure you've got a lot of stuff, and you're very busy. And but first of all, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. And again, anytime you want to come back on, if you have more products that you would like to promote, or you just like to have some conversations, definitely welcome to come on anytime on the show. And I want to also, again, make sure everybody not only goes to Wellness Resources to check out, the fantastic supplements you guys have on there, but check out Marielle's blog, Living Well with Marielle. It's on the screen there, and check out all her products as well. All the links will be in the descriptions here. But other than that, I just want to thank you so much for being on the show, Erin.
Oh, thank you, George. I do see more communication with you. I think it would be wonderful.
Absolutely.
We're
Absolutely.
definitely on the same page, common ground.
Definitely. Definitely.
Absolutely. I love
Okay.
it. And thank
All
you
right.
again for your work.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
For everything.
All right, guys. So that's the end of this show again. Everyone have a great week, and we'll see you next time on Wellness Talk. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.